Right, what I'm going to do now is a quick video on how to make a wool bivvy bag out of an army blanket. It only takes one blanket, and it's actually an army style blanket, but it's just the same. Now, I looked on the internet, on eBay this morning, and you can get grey ones and you get green ones, and they're both round about 20 quid, okay? Some were a little less, some were a little bit more than 20 quid. Bear in mind it's 2023. Now, what you would do with this wool bivvy bag is you would use it in conjunction with your sleeping bag, okay? And you put the sleeping bag inside of it. And what it would do is just uprate your temperature, your comfort temperature, you know, the comfort temperature rating of your sleeping bag. Now, it's a bit like layering your clothes, isn't it? Except you're layering your sleeping bag instead, like. Now, the way I've made it, you can actually use it for a left-handed sleeping bag, a right-handed sleeping bag, or where the zip goes up the centre of your chest, like the army sleeping bags. So, anyway, let's have a close look, and I've got a few bits of other kits, and I'll show you how to use what I think you could use it with other bits of kit as well. If you were in a single layered tent or a double skin tent or something like that. Okay, so let's have a close look anyway. So this is the label. It says military style blanket, contact number, heavy wool blend. The size is 60 inches by 80 inches, and it's a dry clean only. I'd put it in a wool wash. You know, it's only a cold wash, isn't it? A wool wash. That's just my personal opinion. It's 55% wool and 45% blended fibres. So just bear that in mind, because when it's advertised as a wool blanket, I thought it was going to be 100% wool. There you go. Anyway, such is life. You've got 4 buttons. Now, the way I've fixed the buttons is I've got a bit of paracord there, and I've bent it back on itself and tied a knot at the end there, and then I've sewn it on that side with this twine, which is actually made for sewing canvas actually, and then so it's quite strong, and then I put a knot there, and the loop is by there for the button. So it works a treat. It's nice and simple. So there you go, that's that. I've got 4 buttons and split ends there. You put it a bit tighter there so it doesn't come undone, and then the sewing is on the inside, and then you're on this side, then the end. Now, it looks like that because I could turn it so it's the other way, and then them buttons will be on the side, so you can use it for left-handed or right-handed zipped sleeping bag. Okay. Right, I'll just turn it inside out just to show you what it's like. You could actually go to a professional seamstress, you know, in a sewing shop somewhere and get it done. I done it myself, so it's a bit messy, but there you go, it's holding together. So what I've done is I've folded the blanket along its length, and then I've cut a piece off so it bevels into the shape of a mummy sleeping bag. Okay, it's not square, it's like beveled off, right, to help keep the warmth together and stuff like that, you know, and to sort of contour around your body, if you like. Now there's where you get in on that side. The split is on this side, and the buttons and the loop is just under there, and then there's the sewing, my lovely neat sewing. Look at that. I might actually get this done professionally on top of what I've done, so just to make it a bit better, and then it goes across like that. Okay, that's it. So that's all the sewing. That's it. It's as simple as that, really. So, and then you turn it the other way, so the sewing is on the inside, obviously. And I've just laid it out in such a way that if your zip on your sleeping bag was on this side. Now I don't actually understand if that would be a left-handed sleeping bag or a right-handed sleeping bag, because I would call it a zip on the right is a left-handed sleeping bag, because I'd rather put my hand over my chest and then undo the zip. But anyway, you could tell me that. Anyway, I don't know. Just give me the answer. Anyway, that's what it looks like if your zip is on the one side, and if it was on the other, then it would just be turned around, wouldn't it? So that's that. And there's the sleeping bag inside the wool bivvy bag, all put together. Now I would leave it at that if I had a double walled tent, a tent with an inner and an outer, you know. So you know, to put a Gore-Tex bivvy bag on that would be an overkill inside a double layered tent, okay. But I would use this one because it's not very big. It's just over a handful in it when it's packed up like this. It's a Snug Pack Special Forces SF Bivvy Special Forces waterproof sleeping bag cover. Well, it's not waterproof, I can tell you that now, because I tested it in my water butt in my garden, put a stone in it and then dropped it in the water for 15 minutes, and the water came straight through. Okay, it didn't fill up the bag, but it was wet on the inside as much as on the outside, so it's not waterproof at all. I have put a bit of wax on it, and when I discovered Fabsil waterproofer, I put a bit of that on it as well, and I did test it for 15 minutes and it stayed dry on the inside, and that's on my Instagram as well, if you could find it, if you want to see it. Bear in mind I put it on about a year or so ago, so that's that really. But if I had a single, like I said, if I had a single layered tent, I'd use a Gore-Tex bivvy bag for that. Okay, so that's that. And there's the Snug Pack Special Forces bivvy alongside the rest of it, and you notice the zip goes up the chest, the same with the sleeping bag and the wool bivvy bag. Now I would use these 3 bits of gear in conjunction with a double walled tent, okay, a tent with an inner and an outer, but I wouldn't use a Gore-Tex bivvy bag with a tent with an inner and an outer, because it's a bit of an overkill really. But if I had a tent that had one skin, just an outer, then I wouldn't use this, I'd use a Gore-Tex bivvy bag with this setup. Okay, so there you go, that's what it looks like. It's all good stuff really, I suppose, you know. You just got to use it right, you know. And that's what it looks like, all set up together with the Special Forces bivvy bag on the outside. Then you got your special Andy Walkabout Nutties wool bivvy bag on the inside, and Special Forces 1 sleeping bag system right in the center. And also you've got a toggle for the sleeping bag on that side, and a toggle on the bivvy bag, outer bivvy bag, on that side as well. So you could just undo the center there and crawl into it, I suppose. So that's what it looks like, all set up. And there it all is together, packed away. That's my sleeping bag, that's the snug pack bivvy bag. So you can see the difference in size. But there's the wool bivvy bag. Now one little drawback, if you might call it a drawback, this on its own is with a bag as well, is you don't get a bag with it. It's just a spare bag. The weight is 3.5 pounds. Okay, 3.5 pounds in weight. Is that heavy? In some people's eyes it could be, okay, but in other people's eyes you might think, oh, I'd love to do something like that and use it. But anyway, I'd leave it at that and take from it what you will. Right, that's it. Thanks for watching this far, and like, share, subscribe if you want. It's a little bit of a different video this, because it's just something that I've made up, you know. I mean, who's ever thought of a wool bivvy bag? There you go. Anyway, thanks for watching. Cheers.